Hi, this is Destin Gerek, and this is a new video series that we're doing for you around Evolve Your Sexual Consciousness. I'm here today with Amy Jo Goddard of amyjogoddard.com, and she's wearing an appropriate shirt, Sexual Evolution Now. So, we spoke about this a little bit before we started rolling, just around what does that phrase mean to you, to evolve your sexual consciousness? Let's start there.
Oh my goodness, it means so many things. I have actually really defined what I think sexual empowerment means, and the focus in my work is sexual empowerment. I have called myself a sexual empowerment coach, and I feel like I've been doing a lot to kind of really move that idea forward. And there are so many pieces to our sexuality. Sexuality is so vast. It's such a big part of who we are. So that sexual evolution is about, learning how to be in your body and learning how to really love your body, learning how to listen to it and figure out what your desires actually are. And then it's like all of those skills that you need in order to express, that desire, that communication ability, that negotiation ability, and certainly sexual skills, like really learning the map of pleasure that works for your body, learning how, and learning the nuance, right? Because sex is different on different days. And I think a lot of people, what happens is they get into long-term relationships that are monogamous, and they have the same sex all the time, in the same place, in the same way, and then it starts to peter out because it's becoming rote. And so I think a big piece of that evolution is keeping it fresh, is continually learning new things about yourself, continually having new sexual experiences, and then creating environments where you can do that.
So this sounds wonderful, and who doesn't want more and better sex? However, how do you relate this to, overall personal and spiritual evolution?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does your sexuality have to do with the evolution of your consciousness?
Oh, I think it has everything to do with it, because I think that
Me too.
I know, that's why we're here. So, my belief is that sexual energy and spiritual energy come from the same well. They don't come from different wells, but we've had a lot of spiritual traditions, religions, cultures where these like false divisions are created, where it's like, oh, that's sexual, we can't feel that over there, that's bad, that's shameful, that's whatever, taboo. And the spiritual energy, well, this is uplifted, this is exalted, this is divine, but sexual energy is also divine and exalted in its highest form. And to me, as someone who has been on a pretty consistent spiritual path my entire life, that has ebbed and flowed. That has been part of it. It's part of the river. It is part of like the move to bring my energy and my highest expression into the world. Because when we're like cut off at the head, when we're cut off from our body, when we're not actually really living and experiencing physical pleasure, which we are meant to experience, or we wouldn't have the ability. When we're not doing that, we're cutting off our power. And so we've got to be connected in our body. And you could never have sex with anybody else. You could be celibate and still be totally connected to that energy and that power. That is that wellspring of energy that we use to create everything in our lives. I think we're here as creative beings. I think we're meant to create, So whether you love to cook, or you want to make a video, or you make art, or you make community and family, you're using sexual energy, spiritual energy to create those things in the world.
Within the tantric perspective, the second chakra rules both sexuality and creativity. They're seen as rooted in the same energy. It's just different ways of channeling that energy, and I believe that the more we open up that energy, the more we allow free flow of sexual energy through our whole bodies and beings, the more creative energy we have to work with and play with as well. I believe that a lot of the spiritual traditions that a lot of us grew up with kind of relegated the spirit as better and more important, with the body as less important and not really mattering or even sinful.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with the I've come to take on this perspective that as human beings, it's like we're three beings in one. We're uniquely human. We're also a human animal. That which connects us, our primal aspects of ourselves, that which connects us to all the other animals that exist, that which connects us to nature and the earth and the universe. And we're also as human beings, we're divine beings. We're spiritual beings. And there's that which connects us directly to this larger divine source. And to me, it's not about any one of these being better or more important than the other, but to follow like Ken Wilber's languaging, evolution is really, it's not about transcending and denying what came before. It's about transcend and include. It's you are everything you have been and more. So it's not about losing the primal or animalistic aspects of ourselves, but how do we integrate it into the whole of who we are, while further exploring and integrating our spiritual and divine aspects with the whole of who we are. So that's part of what I see as this evolution of our sexual consciousness, or the evolution of our consciousness in general. It's really reconnecting with our primal animalistic parts of ourselves, instead of this consistent like denial, which then just has it pop out in really unhealthy ways. It's often in regards to our sexuality.
Exactly. Well, that's what happens, right? When you squash down an energy that wants to be expressed, you're repressing it, and it's going to find a way out. It's going to find a way towards expression. And so then what happens is we're not doing that consciously, and we're not doing that skillfully. And so then it's going to leak out in ways we don't want it to. It's going to sneak out and surprise us, or maybe create hurtful situations, because we're actually not using it in a really conscious and skillful way. I don't think we would be given this amazing well of sexual energy and this incredible ability to just experience pleasure in these human bodies if we were not meant to have that and to feel that. And so to deny this enormous power is to deny our true essence, and our own internal personal power.
I guess when it comes to like how I relate to the divine, God, the universe, something larger than ourselves, I believe that we're all given these different gifts, and when we're given a gift by our creator, however you want to look at it, and we deny that gift, and we push down or repress and say no to that gift, it's sort of like giving a big fuck you to God. And,
I don't want that. No. What? Do you know what I just gave you?
Exactly. And I feel that's the relationship that we've had so many generations before us, and how they related to our sexuality. Sexuality is such an incredible gift we've been given. Say yes to it. Say yes to it. Say yes to it. And really discover what that gift has to offer you and those you come into contact with.
And I think that's really what the journey is. And what's amazing about, you and I probably know more about sexuality than 99% of humans on Earth.
Probably.
Right? I'd say we could put ourselves in that percentile. And I learn about sexuality, new things. All the time. There is no end to it. I have studied it for 20 years. I have had mentor after mentor. I read more books about sex than probably most people. And I am always learning new things. And that's what's amazing about it. Like, it's dynamic. It's, and I've started a tradition the last several years of like that I'm going to have 10 sexual firsts each year. So that's
great.
Like my New Year's resolution is like
Here's
10 sexual firsts.
I think I'll take this on.
Totally.
Please
it's
take it
really
on with
fun.
me.
And then you can kind of track it over the year like, oh, that was a first.
So, okay, let me ask you something about this, because I find it more challenging these days to have firsts. You know, I've had so many in my life. It's not to say they don't ever occur, and I'm constantly. It's often in subtler ways.
Yeah.
But how do you find that? You know, having been around, having been playing this game for a while, how difficult or easy do you find it to take on 10 new firsts every year?
You know, I don't premeditate them too much. I mean, I might be like, oh, I want to learn how to do that this year. You know, I want to learn more about that. You know, but I think it's also that like so many interesting people come into my life, and I do have multiple lovers, and I identify as a polyamorous person. So I think by nature, when you get to like have experiences with different people, you learn different things. You know, I was talking to one of my lovers last week, and there's a thing that I really like to do that I'm really good at, that I think I'm just going to keep to myself. But it's something that I'm really good at, and that I tend to do with all lovers.
You know, you're curious now.
And he was like, oh, that's where that came from. I've been doing that to my other lovers, and I realized I knew I got it from somewhere. You know, but we were laughing, and we were talking about like, yeah, that's kind of like part of how that gets to work. Like you like learn a little something here, and you learn a little something there, and so whether you have multiple lovers or not, you can do that.
Well, I think that an aspect of it is like, you know, you mentioned about not premeditating. I think when you really set this intention, hold this intention, and really like have faith in it, then it will naturally unfold.
Totally.
But it has me curious if like you pop up in the middle of sex and be like, number 6, 4 to go.
No, usually it's an afterthought. I'm like, oh wait, that was another first. Oh yeah, I'm on track for that. You know.
Keep a little diary or journal.
I mean, sex is really, really creative, and it is that creative energy. I mean, what's more creative than taking 2 cells and making a whole other human being out of it? Like, and I don't mean to like diminish sex to just reproduction, but I just think like that expression. If we just think about how freaking creative that is, it's really powerful energy. So we don't have to use it for that. We can use it for other things. But it is that creativity that keeps me excited about life, and keeps me excited and really present in my body, and then able to offer my gifts in the world.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Amy Jo. Please check her out at amyjogoddard.com.
Sexual evolution now, people.
Now. And later, and before, and always.
For the rest of our lives.
Thank you. And if you enjoyed this, please do join us at Evolve Live, a spiritual sexual transformation, January 16th through 18th in Los Angeles, California. I look forward to seeing you and joining you there as we explore what it really means to evolve your sexual consciousness. Thank you.
Yeah.